Welcome, welcome. This is Miro, and I'm glad to have you guys here on the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. Joined, as always, by my little brother, Ryan. How are you, bro?
I'm doing well, bro. How's it going?
Good, good. I just want to state again, Ryan failed at the intro, so this was cut too. I think he's just not meant for the big leagues, but we're here.
You know, it's something about that countdown when we hit record and those bright lights go on, and I don't know, man. I'm just choking under the pressure.
Man, choking under the pressure. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Go Commanders.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about my frequent second place fantasy finishes to poke fun at myself a little bit.
For sure, that too.
Sure. It sounded a lot better at rehearsal. We'll just say that.
That's fair.
How's your week been, bro?
Good. It's March Madness at work, so 13, 14-hour days, and, it's a good time in the mortgage industry. Can't complain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's work
Crazy
with you?
time for the school as well, Just it's a crazy time of year. It's getting warmer out. Spring break is coming. Kids are going nuts, so it's a fun time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But without any further ado, we have to address our guy, Jose, made a post on Instagram. I'm sure many of you saw. If you haven't, basically the long and short of it is that Jose is going to step away from the pod for now. You might have noticed he just hasn't been here these past few weeks that we've recorded, and things have gotten just a little busy in his life, honestly. He's fine, he's kind of just doing it for him, but and just making things easier on him and his family is the easiest way to put it, bro. And we've said it before, like, this is a hobby at the end of the day. Like, we don't do this full time by any means. Like, this is just kind of something we do in addition to our day job. So I think it just, it got to be something that just had to go for now, but just wanted to mention on the pod and give a proper goodbye.
Yeah, and anyone that I've ever associated with, I've told, like, when something stops being fun, stop doing it. It takes a man to know when to step back, and I respect Jose. He could have sat here and, I wouldn't say bring us down with his, sadness or whatever it is, but he looked out for the pod by letting us know, hey, this just isn't for me right now, and that's okay. And we always say it, we've said it on this podcast several times, mental health is wealth, so make sure you take care of you and yours, and Jose, we do love you, and obviously we're still talking to you every day. You're in our chat, and I'm sure when the draft rolls around and the Lions draft a tight end, we'll talk about it.
Shout out to Eric Ebron. No, I echo that sentiment. It was something that's always been fun for the three of us. And when we hit record, it's a blast every week. It just became a time crunch, man. That's really all it is. And I know I'm speaking on behalf of Jose, and I hope he's okay with that. But I mean, he said in his post, bro. It just became something that had to go for now. So we miss you. We love you. Obviously, your spot is waiting here for you whenever you want to come back, and we're welcome to have you, bro.
For sure. Love you, brother.
But the old adage goes, one door closes, another one opens. So we do have another member of the pod joining us, and he turned on his camera just in time. Familiar to the program.
Did the Collinsworth slide, Jesus Christ.
Sliding in like Chris Collinsworth.
For those of you on video. So,
oh boy.
Matt Young, neighborhood Bears fan, joined us for an episode back in the day. An enjoyable episode, so it's a good start. How you doing, man?
Guys, happy to be here. Just wanted to say thank you to you guys for having me. Big ups to Jose. I've been a fan and a listener since the beginning, so always enjoyed Jose and Ryan, trying to talk Miro off of his crazy Packers ledge, and happy to be here, not replacing, but just keeping this seat warm while we cruise through the off season. And unfortunately, I have not taken Moran's advice, where if something is not fun, stop doing it, because I am still a Bears fan. So here we are. Let's do it. Let's get rolling, boys.
All about that.
Sports is excluded in that statement, by the way. You can't control that.
Yes, of course.
I was going to say, as a Detroit sports fan for the last decade, I should have been gone a long time ago, but here we are. For the people who didn't catch that episode way back when, do you want to just remind the folks of how you know Mito and how you guys got to be friends?
Yeah, absolutely. So met Miro probably almost 10 years ago now at a local, well, pretty big mortgage company we're working at. So yeah, we were out there processing some mortgages. Started talking a little ball. Was rare, living in Detroit. I grew up in Chicago. Was there for about the first 30 or so years of my life. So was nice to find a coworker to talk some ball with. Even if Miro was a Packers fan, he was always a guy that knows his ball unless he's talking Packers, and always enjoyed speaking with him. So we got close and we kept in touch throughout the years. And yeah, my Bears fandom is the fault of my dad. He, growing up in Chicago, he was a huge Bears fan. The Bears won the Super Bowl the year I was born, and that was pretty much the last good thing they did until this year. So,
it's all been downhill from there, brother.
Yeah, the Bears were awesome. I showed up, and there we are, 40 years later.
I was going to say, so you basically ruined the Bears. Or being born, I should say.
You could say, yeah. Nobody's ever seen me and a good Bears team in the same place at the same time. So it's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, it's like no one's ever seen me and Batman in the same room, so you never know.
That's right, buddy.
Matt, when just to kind of like let you know how this works, when Ryan says stuff that he thinks is funny is not, you can simply just walk away. It's okay.
Well, you're still sitting here, so that means it must have been a little funny. But
I enjoyed that.
Or you could just audibly laugh and let the people know that you thought that was funny. There's nothing wrong with that.
We're working it out in real time. I'm still getting the laugh track from the 80s sitcoms, in for us here, so we can really all shine through. But for now, it's all we got is our real laughter. So
yeah,
we'll throw in the
Seinfeld and just have a great time.
There you go.
But welcome, brother. So, this is pretty interesting because now we have 3 NFC North teams in a rivalry triangles, weird kind of situation here. So I'm excited I'm excited for the direction that this is going to go in. This is going to be a good time.
Before we get started, I thought this would be a fun activity that I don't know if we've ever gone through before. Moran, the Packers' biggest rival is who?
The Bears.
Ryan, the Lions' biggest rival is who?
The Packers.
And I'm like the Packers by a mile. So I just thought it was interesting. I feel like the Packers are everyone's main rival, because, they've been just whooping our ass for so long. So that's why everyone probably hates the Packers. I imagine if there were any Vikings fans, which there probably aren't, they would say the Packers as well.
I was going to say, too, before any Vikings fans jump in our DMs and stuff, we will not be adding one, so please do not ask.
Well, maybe. Apply with
never.
You never know. I might work with someone in the school who just happens to be a Vikings fan, and then 10 years later they might join us. You never know.
There you go. Or if Brock Lesnar wants to join as our fourth.
That's fair.
I will say, and a lot of Lions fans are going to give me shit for this, but I know the Packers are our biggest rival, but I hate the Vikings more, if that makes sense. Like, I just can't stand the Vikings, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in. It doesn't make sense, so please explain.
It makes sense because at least, like, the Packers have won something. Like, the Vikings are just so, like they have everything going for them all the time, and they can just never do anything. Like, they're more just like a nuisance and a disappointment. And I know, like, the Lions have also been disappointing, and I know, obviously, it doesn't make sense in that way, but, like, at least I have some form of respect for the Packers winning it a couple times. Like,
what do you guys think about this take? So, the argument gets brought up a lot about, like, most tortured fan bases in the NFL. You always hear about the Browns. You, until recently, always heard about the Lions. You always hear about crappy organizations. Usually those two lead the pack. What do you think about the Vikings as the most tortured fan base? No Super Bowls. They had a 15-1 team that lost in the first round. They've literally been at the doorstep of a championship losing the NFC Championship to the Eagles after the Minneapolis Miracle. They go to Philly and they get waxed by Nick Foles. Like, the Vikings, like, if you're a Browns fan, how many times in the last 50 years did you ever feel like, oh, maybe this is the year?
Like the Ernest Biner year, and that was the one time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a Vikings fan, there's been in the 2000s, in the last 25 years, probably 10 or 11 times when you were like, ooh, the Vikings, like, damn, they can make some noise. Like, this might be their year. Randy Moss.
That's what I mean, though. Like, they always have a pretty decent team, if not a good team. Like, they always finish with a pretty good record most years, and it just nothing happens. Like, it's just, I'd be so annoyed if I were Vikings. Like, I'd be so bothered by
worse? Is that worse than the Browns? Like,
no, I can't say that, because the Browns are just like pathetic. You know, like. Yeah. It's like, would you rather go to 4 Super Bowls and lose them all like the Bills did, or just never make one like the Lions? You know, like, it's that age-old question. I'd rather be somewhat good than just downright awful.
4 in a row, though. That's like borderline.
Oh, I know.
Put me on suicide watch, probably.
I think so. You hit it on the head with the Vikings. Like, I don't think it's a torture when your team sucks and they always suck. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
What? Yes, it is, bro.
No, because so it's like the ugly guy that always gets like tries to get the hot girl, and the girl's like, no, I'm good. They always say no, so you're like,
yeah,
oh, okay,
let
whatever.
me tell you
they
something about that guy. He goes home and he cries every night.
That's fine, but he's used to it. He never actually thought that he could get the girl. He just wants to ask because it's his routine.
Look, we're not here to talk about my dating life before I got married. Okay, can we just move?
It's more about expectations, right? You can't really be hurt if you have no expectations.
Exactly. Like
if you go into a season like the Browns going into this year, no Browns fan at the end of the year is going to be like, "Oh God, can't believe we won 5 games." Like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
exactly.
There have been many years like that, though.
Yeah, I think it's a lot worse when your team's good and you guys are going to rip on me. I think the Packers are going to win it every year, and every year that they don't, it hurts. So
exactly.
It hurts a lot.
Yeah. You know, one of the most tortured fan bases that never gets talked about is the Arizona Cardinals. I think in the 4 major sports, they've gone the longest without winning a championship. It's like 1934. We're coming up on the century mark.
Yeah, but then they open their front door and it's 85 and no rain. So
well, I mean, yeah, they're just like not passionate about football over there, so no one even thinks about them.
Yeah,
that's true. They did have that sick-ass Kurt Warner year, though, when they played the Steelers in the Super Bowl. That team rocked.
Oh, yeah. You mean the year that we played them in the first round and we couldn't stop them? Yeah, that was fun.
That was like one of the best Super Bowls,
different than the Jeff Janis Hail Mary year? Wasn't that against the Cardinals, too?
Yeah.
It's a different year, though?
Yeah.
Good times. All right. Okay. Let's talk some ball, boys. What are we doing?
Yeah, let's keep going. All right, so we have a segment that... Actually, you thought of this one, Matt. Is your team better than they were when the season ended? The NFC North edition. So, we'll go down who each team signed so far in free agency. There's still some time to go, but kind of getting a gauge of how we each feel about our teams right now, where we sit. Who would like to start?
Got to start with first place. You're Detroit Lions.
Yeah, or...
you don't like that?
No, I mean, cool. You won first place and you didn't win a playoff game. Good job.
All right, so here we go. Let's just go through it real quick. Lions have signed the following. Kyle Allen signed with the Lions, quarterback. Tim Patrick re-signed on a 1-year deal, like that. Kenny Yeboah signed for the Lions, tight end. Dan Skipper re-signed him. He's reporting he's eligible. Love it.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Pat O'Connor. I mean, that's the only thing we can say about Dan Skipper, bro. Come on. Pat O'Connor, edge player. Marcus Davenport, 1-year deal, up to $5 million almost. Roy Lopez, one of them that happened after we recorded last week. Defensive tackle. That was a big one. He's a very strong dude. We re-signed Levi Onwuzurike, 1 year, $5.5 million. Derek Barnes re-signed. That was our most expensive one so far, besides DJ Reed. And Grant Stewart, linebacker, as well as DJ Reed, as I mentioned. So, having said all that, are we better than we were last year? So this is a tough question, honestly, because of like we're automatically going to be better because we're healthy, right? So like you're getting such key players back on defense, like the Hutches, the McNeils. I will say in terms of upgrade though, I do love the DJ Reed signing. Like the more time has passed, the more I'm falling in love with it, and he's cheaper than Carlton Davis, and proven to be more healthy so far in his career. So that's a bit reassuring to me too. And you know, I know. Let me just speak for other Lions fans real quick who are just waiting for a splash signing. Like, I don't think it's going to happen the way people want it to happen. Like, I don't think that there's some huge free agent out there that's going to wow us when he comes here. But we are building up on that depth we have, and I think it's going to come down to making moves on draft day and figuring out how to take that next step. So I'm kind of in the middle, bro. Like, I feel like we're okay. Like, we're better, but not that much better, but we're just going to be healthier overall.
Moran, are the Lions better than they were when the season ended?
So, just need some clarity because, you know, as we came from one of the largest mortgage companies, nothing clarifies like clarity. So do you mean just by record-wise or just like long-term success, or what's
Take
your...
it however you want it. Are they better?
They're not, because they're not going to win 15 games. So, no. And I think Jared Goff is going to be Jared Goff sooner or later. And what I mean by that is, here goes Ryan with his eye roll, but what I mean by that is what he's been doing these last 2 years is an anomaly. We're not at the point of it being expected yet. So, to answer your question, no, I don't think they're better. And I think losing Zeitler was a big deal. They're not winning 15 games. It's that simple. They're not better. No.
And I think a big thing with the Lions as well that you guys didn't really touch on, losing two coordinators is massive. Like,
absolutely.
Losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn and the Engstrand, the dude that went with Aaron Glenn, like, the Lions lost a lot of brain power on both sides of the ball. That coaching staff has been together for a long time. That same thing happened right when the Eagles left the Super Bowl or lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs a few years ago. They lost Steichen, they lost Jonathan Gannon, and you don't think it's gonna matter that much because you still have the head coach and you still have the players, but it's a lot of new ideas and maybe it works out. But my biggest concern about the 2025 Lions, if I were a Lions fan, would be, man, we got a lot of brain power to replace on both sides of the ball.
But hey, Ben Johnson all of a sudden wasn't that good, so they probably don't need him.
No one's saying he wasn't that good. Don't make it seem like that. So here, let me just address what you both said real quick. Mito keeps waiting for the Jared Goff shoe to fall. You mentioned the same thing last year, probably around the same time. Like, oh, Jared Goff had a great year, but can he do it again?
And then when the playoffs rolled around, I was right.
The playoffs was so... I can't even get my words out, bro. That's such a ridiculous statement. The playoff game was so not on Jared Goff. Like, yes, he didn't play great, but we lost that game because of our defense and because, turnovers, essentially.
He was also turnovers. Very concussed.
Yes, he got rocked, which was also... should have been a penalty, by the way. We won't even talk about it. But, yeah, he didn't play his best game regardless, and I'm not going to defend that, but he's not the sole reason that we lost. But this kind of goes into your coordinator's point that you just made, Matt. Losing Ben Johnson, if there's ever a time to see what Jared Goff is made of, this is the time. If you really want to shut your haters up and who claim, oh, you just had the best coordinator and, oh, look at these plays they're drawing up for you and blah, blah, blah. Go out there and ball with...
Look out. First episode, I'll do better.
There you go. Go out there and ball with a new coordinator and make it happen. Show that you can do it regardless, and show that you're not just a coaching, a cog in the wheel, so to speak.
Yeah, the biggest question with Jared Goff is I feel like everybody acknowledges Jared Goff is a guy you can win with. If everything goes right, he can get you where you need to go. Jared Goff, can you play a few games like a guy that the Lions can win because of? because ultimately in the playoffs, that's what matters.
Yeah.
They got beat by a dude who his team won because of him. He put the team on his back. That's the difference between great NFL quarterbacks and NFL quarterbacks who are solid.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that though. Like I can live with that as a fan because I know he can take us there and that's good enough for me. Like I think asking for more is just kind of greedy at this point. Like we have a good team around you, and don't forget, these coordinators that we lost weren't perfect the whole time. I'm not saying Ben Johnson was a bad coordinator. He was not. He was great at what he did. No. He was great at what he did. But we've had complaints on this podcast. Oh, straying away from the run. Like, we pinned a lot of that San Fran game the year before on him, right? So, and Aaron Glenn, like, my God, the amount of yards we've given up under that guy. No disrespect. He got a lot better as the years went on. But maybe our coordinators could be better. Like, that possibility is there. These guys aren't pariahs, right? It could happen.
Certainly. It's probably a lot to ask in year one for them to be better. But, like, long term, I think it's certainly in the range of outcomes.
Mm-hmm. And, hey, Dan Campbell hired both those guys we're talking about, right? So he has not led us astray besides that Anthony Lynn signing to start, which he promptly took care of. I'm going to have faith as long as it's there.
Real quick before we move on to Did Your Team Get Better Packers edition, you guys want to take a guess of what Jared Goff's 2026 cap hit is?
Oh, man.
It's
north
like 35, of 40, isn't it?
$69.6 million.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah. Things are getting pricey.
Well, since you brought that up, Jared Goff has a Rams Jared Goff season. Do you move on?
No.
Oh, you can't.
No,
What's
not
the cap
next year.
Or the following year, I should say.
He's got at least 2 more years under his belt. Like,
yeah.
he's not... We're not giving up on him that easy.
They could move on after, like, 2026.
Yeah.
Dead cap is $65 million for 2026. So,
I mean, that would have to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd have to lose both his legs. All right, Moran. Are the Packers better right now than they were when the season ended?
So, since Matt thinks I'm unrealistic with the Packers, I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to say no. And the reason I'm saying no is because a lot of us being better this year is going to come from within. So we need Lucas Van Ness to step up. Edgerrin Cooper's going to have to come out and be a top 10 linebacker, which I know he's going to be. And still, we need to see what's going to happen with Jair. And I mean, I'm not going to tell you we're going to be better when we've only signed 3 guys. But we've all seen from free agency experience, the team that has the bank open doesn't always succeed. We are talking to a 13-time off-season champ now.
That's
on the
right.
weekly.
Put some respect on those off-season banners, Moran.
So I do think by week 9 you're going to see that we're a better team. But right now, it's undetermined. So I'm just going to say no based on that. But we're going to have to see who does what. There's going to have to be guys that step up. The one thing I will say before you jump in here is Jordan Love's fully healthy, and if our line plays well, our offense is going to be very scary, which it was last year.
Well, let me just jump in.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ryan.
No, I'm my bad. I was just going to jump in and real quick just list the free agents that you guys have picked up, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So today, you guys made the splash signing of Mecole Hardman. That's a good one. Wide receiver. Talked about Aaron Banks, the guard, last week. Isaiah McDuffie, the linebacker, re-signed. Nate Hobbs was the big cornerback splash you all made from the Raiders. 4 years, $48 million. And kicker Brandon McManus. And that's where that ends, bro. There's not a lot of names on that.
Moran, I know you guys talked about it a little bit last week. What did you think about the Aaron Banks signing? Out of curiosity, when you saw that come across, what were your thoughts?
So I know it's been talked about for 2 years that they want to move Jenkins to center. And, I mean, if we see what Josh Myers got signed for, our former starting center, he got signed for 1 year, $2.5 million, which is below the veteran minimum, and he's not even a veteran, which is nuts.
He got like backup money, basically.
Yeah, so with that being said, I know what we're trying to do with Aaron Banks. We may have... So the number in front of Banks' name is very... I don't know how you want to say it. It's not a true number.
Misleading?
Misleading is the word, yes. What the Packers do is they front load their contract. It will look a lot worse later on in the cap or in the contract. He did get a big signing bonus, which kind of surprised me, but also the guy's a mauler. Like, we need our run game to be successful. So I understand it, and we all seen what happened in the playoff game. Jenkins got hurt, and our line was terrible. So I think it's more, hey, this guy's really good, but adds depth to the team as well. I don't like the number, but again, it's a Packers contract where we'll get out of it if we need to.
The reason I brought it up is, as somebody who has been offensive line starved for the majority of my life, the Packers just always find like fourth round guards and second round tackles and fifth round centers. There's always a David Bakhtiari in the fourth or fifth round. So when I saw it come across, I was just kind of like, if the Packers were going to shell out $80 million, I just found it curious. That didn't seem like a spot I'd ever seen them splurge in free agency before. And it just put up my antenna a little bit. I remember one time Moran said to me, I don't know why you would pick a lineman in the first round. You just find them later, third, fourth round. And as somebody who has never found a good lineman in the third or fourth round, I was like, do you know how fucking entitled that is just to say, you're right.
It's true,
but it's just infuriating as somebody who can't hit on a first round lineman. So just a thought I had when I saw it come across. Just a little unpackers.
So with you saying that though, if the Packers go and find those guys in the fourth, fifth, sixth round, whatever it is, if they're willing to spend $80 million on a guy that no one else is willing to spend $80 million, doesn't that tell you, hey, let's trust what the Packers are doing since they have the resume? It can go both ways.
Yeah, I didn't look at it and think it was egregious. The guard market was weird. The dudes who were out there it was the one position in free agency where it felt like free agency 10 years ago was average defensive tackle, average cornerback, whatever, hits free agency. They're the 14th best corner. They're going to get paid the second. They're the 28th best guard. They're going to get paid the fifth. It was just teams overspending. That has kind of reeled back, relatively speaking, the last few years. But it did feel like between Aaron Banks and Will Fries, I'm not a grinding the trenches offensive line expert by any means, but it was okay, guards did pretty well in free agency, but everyone else was just kind of it's pretty modest. Seems like a fair deal.
Dude, it was like last year when Christian Wilkins, the Raiders paid him an obscene amount of money. $120 million or something? It's he's a good player, but Jesus.
Good player. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah,
but
he's not Aaron Donald. What are we doing?
That's a great exception for the last few years, because
yeah.
those do still happen, but you see them less and less.
Right.
Where
Williams,
good player gets paid whoa, holy moly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will say, and my friends came at me for this because you mentioned I always make fun of teams that draft first-round linemen. I was shocked last year when we drafted a first-round lineman. I was absolutely floored. I'm not going to lie to you.
Especially that one.
No, I'm not going to agree with that. We're not at that point yet. But if he comes out in balls, we made the right decision. It's still way too early to see if that's a bad decision. We'll find out.
We shall see. All right, anything else on the Packers before we move on? I mean, we got to give the offseason champs their credit, don't we? 13 times you said, Vito?
I think it's officially 13 after
And
this
counting.
offseason. So yeah, the Lions, the Packers, they didn't make a lot of big moves because when you're a good team and you have a good roster, you don't need to make a lot of big moves. Felt like the theme of this offseason for the Bears was everybody, I live in Detroit, Lions fans, were maybe a little upset when Ben Johnson left. So all I kept hearing was like, I don't know, is Ben Johnson's offense going to work behind this crappy O-line? Oh, can Ben Johnson do this without any good linemen? You know who wasn't willing to find that out? Ben Johnson. So Ben Johnson goes, we pick up Jonah Jackson for a 6th-round pick. Ben Johnson knows Jonah Jackson. If he signed off on that move, I like it. It's a 6th-rounder. He's making like $15 million a year. Seems fair, less than what we would have paid Will Fries or paid Aaron Banks. The Joe Tooney move, I feel like, is it's like a move I couldn't love more. You trade a 4th-round pick for a dude who is just going to walk into Canton on the first ballot. 4-time Super Bowl champ, all-world left guard for the last 10 years. Not only does Joe Tooney make your left guard spot better, he probably makes your whole room better by how they're going to prepare. So they get Joe Tooney. Whoever plays left tackle next to Joe Tooney, whether it's Braxton Jones or we draft Will Campbell, they're going to be better because of Joe Tooney. After that, I was like, I gotta imagine they're done adding to the line. I was seeing some Drew Dahlman rumors, but I was like, I can't see dumping more money into the line. The Bears do sign Drew Dahlman in an otherwise unspectacular center class. I don't know a ton about Drew Dahlman. What I've read, he's smart and he's athletic. He's a little bit undersized, but he wants to, he excels in the zone gap run scheme, which is the Ben Johnson baby. So love all those moves. The interior of our O-line, I couldn't have imagined would be fixed within the first 15 minutes of free agency. And maybe it's not fixed, but they've done everything possible to try to make it go from awful to at least average to above average and possibly better. Who knows? On defense, the Bears had a couple moves. They signed Grady Jarrett to be in my opinion, the Joe Tooney of the defensive line room. Grady Jarrett's best football probably behind him. He's been in the league for about 10 years, but dude is a pro. He's a dog. Maybe it was a bit of an overpay, but getting a dude like that in your room for a little bit of an overpay during a rookie QB contract certainly feels like something that makes sense. And then when we signed Dio, I've been working on it, Dio Odengbo, the first thing I thought of was I texted Moran last night, who's his main Packers guy that he would like to see them sign in free agency. He just texted me back, Dio. Didn't know who that was. Looked him up, got familiar with them, then the Bears steal him away from the Packers.
I just got to keep my mouth shut sometimes, man, because I feel like it happens because I get so excited.
Ryan
I'm just gonna
Foles
say-
has got your phone tapped.
He's not even done yet, I don't think. But the way Matt presented the picks or the pickup sounded so much better than the way we presented it. And I don't know if they're
because,
just better players or if it's just the way he said them.
The guy had a Bible of free agency. I mean, he better sound excited.
Yeah, I mean, so when you root for a bad team, or a team that used to be bad, in the Bears' case, free agency in the draft is your Super Bowl. Wait till week 6. I'm going to be out there like, oh, God, what do we do? But for now, yeah, the Bears, off-season champs, 12th year in a row, hang the banner.
No, I will say, out of all the teams, go ahead, Vito.
No, I was just going to say, look at him. He's glowing. This is like his best time of the year.
He really is, and I can't blame him. It's like when mock drafts used to come out for the Lions. It's what we look forward to the most. Like, oh my God, did you hear we could get Malik Willis at 3? Oh my God, stop the press. It's like it's just so exciting.
What's wrong with Malik
that's
Willis,
all you
boss?
have. Oh, there's some stuff wrong with him at least. He could have flared out, but I don't know, man. Like I think it was when the Bears picked up Grady Jarrett, where I was like, okay, like can we just stop what's happening for a second? Because it was at the same time the Lions were obviously not making moves. So watching a division opponent get better with players that you want
That's what
hard.
bothered me.
Yeah,
That's what.
right.
That's what bothered
Yeah,
Because
no,
I would
absolutely.
have loved Deo too. Like that would have been nice. Some D-line help. Why not?
No, because it's usually the Bears, paid 4 years, $90 million, and then you look at who, and you're like, oh, we would have never offered that. Cool, but it's like, oh, they got Dio. We wanted Dio. Like,
that was another that just like nothing, like with the exception of Grady Jarrett and like not like huge. And then like when I saw the Jonathan Allen deal and the Javon Kinlaw got paid, I was like, all right, 16 or 17, whatever it was for Grady Jarrett, like more than I would have pegged, but definitely worth it. And then you watch his introductory press conference and you're like, all right, yeah, this guy rocks. I'm in. Pay him whatever he wants.
Deo's name reminds me of that one song from Scarface, Da da but the Deo. That one? I don't know the words at all, but I just like the beat.
I've been more going with Deo. Me say day, me say day, me say Deo.
Damn, he even sung it better than I did, so that song's automatically better. Oh my god. All right.
And then just real quick to touch on the Vikings. The Vikings did a lot of similar things that the Bears did. Shoring up the trenches, signing a new center, signing D linemen. Theme of the NFC North teams that made big splashes in free agency, invest in the trenches. I wonder where they got that idea. Possibly from the Super Bowl champs.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy how it's such a copycat league. Like, obviously the Eagles dominated on the D-line, and Carolina, they're like, oh, it was all because of Milton Williams. Let's go get him. It's just a funny league.
Yeah, shout out Milton Williams. He's this year's Christian Wilkins.
Yep.
For real.
I think, like, Milton Williams he's solid. He's a solid player. 26 per, maybe a little rich.
A solid player on an already great defense, too. Like, can you be the guy is the question that comes up to me. And I'm looking at the Vikings list, too, man. I mean, shit. It's like showing full faith in JJ, right? Like, you kind of let Sam Darnold walk. You're making all these big pickups. You're shoring up your trenches, too. They got the running back situation solidified with Aaron Jones and a pretty good backup for him in Jordan Mason, I think.
I love Jordan Mason. He's a fun dude to watch.
I do, too. And he stepped up when his number was called. I love guys like that.
And don't
and they got all-star cornerback Jeff Okudah. Like, they're all set, man. Like, what's stopping them now?
Don't shoe in JJ as the starter just yet.
Oh, you think there's...
I got a fun game we're going to play later. Let's save that.
Okay.
Fair enough. And I was... obviously, I think we both know the answer, but Matt, is your team better now?
My team is better now than when the season ended, but it's easy because when the season ended, my team was bad. So, the goal with free agency shouldn't be to go from bad to amazing. It should be to go from bad to, like, above average because you can't build the plane through free agency. It's just not sustainable. You have to draft well. So hopefully we'll do that too.
Well, on that topic, does the Bears offense get stupid if they get Genty?
We'll save that for our draft show, but I can't get there yet.
Okay.
But like if Ben Johnson says that Genty's the pick, I'm not going to be mad, but I want to just pick another big dude, either side of the ball.
That's fair.
We'll talk about that on the draft show.
That's fair.
But it should be a fun year, boys. The NFC North, I think, barring anything crazy, I think the Bears will be better. The Vikings always figure it out. I do think the Lions probably take a step back compared to last year, but are still the most talented team in the division for my money. And then, the Packers just always somehow win like 10 or 11 games. So that'll probably happen again.
Dude, and it really comes down to me for the coaches and the quarterbacks. Like, 3 proven good head coaches at least are Matt LaFleur, Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson is going to, I mean, obviously, right, the head coach, but like, it's such a make or break for you guys. Like, if Ben Johnson doesn't work and these free agent signings are duds and Caleb's not the guy, like, we really got to do some soul searching for the Bears, man, because at that point, like, you're feeling pretty good right now as a Bears fan, understandably. But if this blows up in your face, like, I don't know, man. It's going to be really rough.
I'm honestly like trying to keep my optimism in check because in the back of my head, I'm like, If it doesn't work with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, that's it. It's never going to happen. We're never going to be good. We'll pop up for like one good year every like 9 years where like our defense is amazing and we win 12 games and we lose in the first round of the playoffs. But like having a sustained run of success, just out of the question. If this isn't it, I don't know what we can do.
Are you done?
No. It's too early for the eulogy. Turn that off.
We'll play that week 5.
The eulogy is after the funeral,
he
not
sounded
before.
so sad.
Hey, bro, that's he was trauma dumping. That's what we call it in my field.
Yeah, I'm just being honest, boys.
Bro, I
It's
don't
how
know.
we're talking ball.
I don't know why I love that drop so much.
It's so funny. It was such a good find. All right, speaking of bad teams and wondering if they got better or not, we have to move south a little bit to our friends in Ohio and talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. They have just recently locked up Jamar Chase with a massive, highest non-paid QB ever deal, and we know they locked up T. Higgins before too. So those two are here to stay. What they don't have is a defense. We have to talk about, did the Bengals do the right thing by locking up their receivers and ignoring the needs on defense?
I got a lot to say. One of you guys can go first.
No, you go first. You got a lot to say.
The Bengals have to be one of the dumbest franchises in football history. And I understand that Jamar Chase is great. T. Higgins is good. But
That's pretty great too, bro.
Can we? I wouldn't throw the great word around. But has a team ever paid that much money for 2 receivers and been good? It's been a very long time.
Only thing that comes to mind is like early 2000s Colts went with this model. Like, well, we know our offense is going to be good every year. Maybe we can get hot on defense in the playoffs and it'll be enough. Only thing that comes to mind.
The Colts is such a hard example, man, because they had Dwight Freeney over the years, right? They had Robert Mathis.
Sanders.
They had Bob Sanders. They had, they still managed to get legendary players on their defense. Those are some great players we just named, bro.
For sure. Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Not an unfair comp for Dwight Freeney.
No, but that's where the list stops, though, for their defense.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, they're not keeping him, so you can't
and he might be
name
gone,
him.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the issue I'm having with this. Like, okay, you paid those 2 guys. You cannot pay Trey Hendrickson anymore. You just can't. There's no money.
I will say, and if I'm kind of speaking for a Bengals fan, they got off to such a horrid start last year. Like, everything went wrong, and they were just losing game after game. And then they were just, too talented to keep down, especially on offense, and they went on a little run at the end. So I know Bengals fans are sitting there saying, damn, we live in Ohio. But I know they're also saying, I wish that we could have just won a couple more of those games because we do have a pretty good team right now. I don't know, man. I could just see that this year play out, and Burrow and Chase and Higgins are all just so good. Not to mention Chase Brown, who had a great year. Their offense really is just so good. So that's got to have you feeling a little good, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, if you're gonna build on one side of the ball, if you're gonna pour a majority or all of your resources, defense isn't sticky year to year. I can say with absolute certainty, barring a Joe Burrow injury, the Bengals are going to have a top 5 offense for the next 3 years. They're just going to. Their quarterback is incredible. They have 2 incredible weapons. Their head coach is fine. But, pouring resources in on defense doesn't always equal a good defense. So I feel like they did what they kind of had to do. Joe Burrow was pretty outspoken about wanting to bring T. Higgins back. They already went through, an ugly separation 15-ish years ago with a quarterback. You can't put yourself at risk of Joe Burrow being like, yo, this sucks, I want out. But, on the same token, why didn't they pay Jamar Chase last year? They could have paid him the day after the Justin Jefferson extension for $35.1 million. And they were like, nah, we'll just drag it out. You could have paid T. Higgins 2 years ago after Waddle and Devonta Smith got paid for $24 million.
Well,
Whatever.
and this is that mismanagement that Mito brought up, because at that point last year they did not know what they wanted to do with T. Higgins. They didn't know if he could stay healthy. They didn't know if they wanted him long term, and now they kind of cornered themselves because guess what? Now you got both of them, and you paid them both more than you had to. So, yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are probably two of the smartest football players ever. And I don't know if you guys heard, right when free agency started, Higgins went and dumped his agent and hired Jamar Chase's agent. Jamar Chase's agent is like, hey, if the T. Higgins deal doesn't get done, Chase isn't signing. Like, that was like spot on WWE style promotion. Like, that was unbelievable. I just thought it was great how that played out. Huh?
Put asses in the seats, pal.
Literally.
Yeah, I never thought T. Higgins would turn heel.
Unbelievable. Wow, Ryan
Can't believe
what that
it.
means. Good job.
I figured it out after 3 fucking weeks. All right. At the end of the day, did they do the right thing, Matt?
I know, because they should have done it sooner, but they did what they had to do.
Moran.
Abso-fucking-lutely no. That team blows.
I'm going to say no, because I'm looking at their defensive depth chart, and damn. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit. Like, after Hendrickson goes, I don't know who you have. Like, Jermaine Pratt?
Just name their linebackers for me. That's what I'm interested in.
All right, let's see here.
Jermaine
Pratt, Logan Wilson, and
that's all I got.
Man, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. The only one listed is there's Oren Burks.
They just signed him.
Yeah,
Former
Mema
Packer.
Nyong Meta, I think. I don't know, bro. It's a rough list. I'm telling you.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, I don't even know if these guys actually exist.
They're gonna have to win a lot of shootouts. We'll see how it goes.
I'll tell you what, though, if it doesn't work out, coach has got to go, right? Like, Zach Taylor,
100%.
we love you for taking us there, but we're kind of done. You can't have that year you had last year and then miss the playoffs again.
And the whole Bengals getting hot thing last year, like, absolutely drives me nuts.
Bro, they did, though. They won games.
Cool.
They fought their way back.
Cool.
That says something. That's huge.
Cool. They beat the Steelers, Browns twice, Titans, Cowboys, Giants. Awesome.
I hear your point.
Row, but
I hear your point.
Who's on the schedule?
But it's also easy for a good team to mail it in after starting 1-6 or 1-7 or whatever it was, and
cool.
they fought for their coach and kept going. Bro, for their coach, that's huge.
Yeah. They fought it. They fought for their team when they each make $20 million a year. I'm proud of those. Bengals.
My God! Don't do that. Don't act like emotions aren't a part of it.
Just saying, bro.
It reminds me, bro. Like Campbell's first year, we started 0-12-1 or whatever, and we finished 3-3, and it meant a lot for going into the next year. And we started off with that momentum, and we kind of learned how to win games. That's a big deal, man. You can't just have your players mail it in. That would have wrecked them.
Yeah, having dudes that don't give up on the season is huge. That's like it's like a big Campbell culture thing. I totally agree. I feel like that year, like you learned a lot about. The Lions sucked, but you were like, these
you felt
dudes
okay.
are out there. They're out there busting ass.
Yeah, you felt okay. They always played hard. We lost some close games. We pulled out some ones at the end. Like, you felt good going into the next year, and it paid off.
Very random question, Matt. Is that a Jermaine Dye jersey behind you?
Oh, yeah, that is. Autographed.
Oh.
My mom won that in a raffle when the Sox hosted the All-Star game in 2006. Gave that to me. Shout out to my ma. Love you, ma.
Wow. I used to love Jermaine Dye. I don't know why.
Oh,
he's a good player.
World Series MVP.
Oh, him and Paul
Wild.
Konerko, man. Paul Konerko is one of the most underrated baseball players of all time.
Bro, I'm gonna cry. I love people. all time, dude.
Dude,
Oh,
I hate talking about the White Sox like that because I hate them so much. But man, what a player he was.
AJ
Stud.
Pierzynski.
Oh yeah.
I hate that guy.
Oh, me too, bro. One of my most hated athletes of all time.
Not even baseball related. When he got on MLB Network, like, bro, just stop talking. He's just very annoying. And then his
Matt
He was
would know
doing
this, I
MLB
think.
opening day today. He was the color guy with Jason Benetti, also former White Sox. I
Jason
can't talk
Benetti is the
I
fucking
can't talk-
goat, bro.
I can't talk about the White Sox. We're gonna.
Can I just ask one thing? Who was the guy who punched AJ Przinsky in the face at home plate, and AJ got up and started punching himself like he was the tough guy?
Michael Barrett. I was at that game. Good
Let's
times.
go.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Przinsky was such a douche. He's okay on the mic though.
Yeah, I like him. I mean,
not
he's
bad.
like he's the classic dude. These guys exist everywhere. You cannot stand him, and then he's on your team for 10 minutes, and you're like, oh my god, I love
Yeah,
this guy.
he's
And
Isaiah
that's
Stewart,
like
bro.
C.J. Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, to a point. He got kind of annoying, but I was thinking more Isaiah Stewart for the Pistons. Like every freaking team hates this guy, like Bill Laimbeer,
yeah.
essentially. You know, but
Yes.
he's on your team, so you
Scott.
love him.
Scott Stevens from the Devils. That's
Yeah.
AJ Przinsky to me.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. That'd be a good topic for one day, like your most loved and hated athletes or something. That'd be a good one. I guess not.
I got a
Anyways,
lot.
let's move on.
No, yes, Ryan, it would be great. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for bringing
Bro,
that
when
up.
you guys don't respond, I feel like you didn't like what I said.
No, we loved it. It was great. I'm adding it to the agenda for next week.
All right, so Matt, you wanted to bring up comp picks.
Yeah, so reason for this, I want the Bears to get some comp picks. Every year they're like, oh, we're going to award comp picks. And then the Ravens get like 17, and then the Steelers get some, and then the Niners get some. And then I look, I'm like, where's the Bears? And then we get no comp picks. Why are the Bears getting no comp picks? How can we get some comp picks? I'm interested. Ryan, any ideas?
Hire black coaches and then have them get hired by someone else. That's probably your best bet.
Bro, Ian Cunningham, our assistant GM, black guy, interviewed for like 5 GM jobs. Ian, do some prep work. Let's go. We need some third rounders here.
Wait, this is a serious question. Does the Rooney Rule exist for GMs too, or is it just coaches?
Yes.
Yeah,
it does?
It's everyone.
If the Jags would have hired Ian Cunningham, the Bears would have got a third round pick this year and a third round pick next year, comp pick.
So
Yeah,
oh,
right.
man, that's brutal.
The guy on ESPN, Reddick, he's the Rooney Rule. Like,
Oh, yeah.
literally everyone brings him in for GM jobs just to satisfy that rule with no intention of hiring him.
Yeah.
Does ESPN get a comp pick if Louis Riddick gets a GM job? I'll find out. I'll report back next week.
Well, let's just someone on Reddit by the name of Aerolith Lion, just to give credit where it's due, had a very simple and short explanation of how teams get comp picks, because I didn't know this either. I'm going to be honest, and I don't think many of us did. So their draft picks awarded to teams that lose more free agents than they gain. They are another parity mechanism to keep teams from becoming too depleted of talent. So the comp pick that you receive is determined by the size of the contract for your free agent signs with another team and the performance he has in his first season with that new team. The biggest comp pick possible is a third rounder, and that would go to the team that lost a player who signed a position-leading contract and had a nice year for that new team. I didn't know that, bro. That's really interesting, actually.
So that could be Milton Williams, pretty much.
Correct.
I would
I
assume.
would imagine the Patriots would get a real nice, or have already gotten a real nice comp pick for Milton Williams. Or like Aaron Banks probably netted the Niners a comp pick, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
A fairly decent one at that
Yeah.
salary. But I guess we gotta, I don't know. We'll do some more research into it. But yeah, the Bears comp picks, we want them. We'll need some good players first, but then that'll be what we're going for.
I mean, maybe this is why the free agent pool was so heavy for you guys, because you know you're not getting picks in the comp. So let me just sign as many people as I can.
That's right. I mean, but maybe when Tevin Jenkins signs, we'll get a comp pick.
Pause.
We'll find out.
Or
Just
when
keep holding your
Caleb,
breath there, buddy. Sure it'll
or
happen
when
soon.
Caleb Williams doesn't get extended after his rookie deal and gets signed. You never know.
Oh, can you imagine?
Stop it.
Can you imagine? Yeah, we have so much to talk about with Caleb. I'm so excited for the offseason.
Me too.
All right. Lastly, we thought of a fun segment. Favorite free agent signing your team has ever made? Matt, let's start with you.
So I got two. My easy answer, because it was just awesome, and he was at the peak of his powers. Julius Peppers coming into an already loaded Bears defense when we're like, yo, the defense is loaded. Like, we should sign some offensive linemen. And we're like, nah, fuck that. We'll just sign Julius Peppers. So, like, that defense was super fun, but we absolutely could have used some O-linemen. He had 5-6 great years in Chicago, was a great player. And then my under-the-radar one, just like a dude I really loved, became kind of a household name. You guys remember Akeem Hicks, the defensive tackle, number 96?
The strongest dude in the NFL.
Just looked like a real-life bear.
Yeah.
Just absolutely love that guy. So shout out to Akeem Hicks. Hope he's doing well. Julius Peppers, though, would be my pick.
Akeem Hicks was, they would always mention it on the broadcast every time we played the Bears, but how freakishly strong that dude was. And he wasn't like the most like muscular guy or whatever. Like,
oh, no.
His strength was just like, you just saw him like taking on double teams and just like literally one arm shoving guys around. It was wild.
He was a fun dude to watch for sure. Just
freak of nature. Underrated for sure.
Yeah, just a real life bear.
Yeah, literally. All right, Mito, what about you?
Easy answer. Charles Woodson. The reason we won a Super Bowl. And then let's take it back to last year. Xavier McKinney. So fun. Never, like, I had an inkling that we might do it last year, but the fact that we did it, awesome. Josh Jacobs, I already knew that was going to happen. Please check the Instagram. I called it. But, yeah, Reggie White, Charles Woodson, probably top two. Reggie White, I was still too young to understand, but Charles Woodson was A1. And I hate that he went to Michigan, but it is what it is.
It's crazy that two of those guys you just named are like two of the top defensive players of all time. So that's pretty good.
And how about Reggie White, the nickname, the Minister of Defense?
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Fucking awesome.
It is awesome.
What a baller. R.I.P. Reggie.
R.I.P. for sure. Mine is a simple one too, and he's recent and everyone knows him. And there's probably a better one out there talent-wise, but for me it's got to be Golden Tate. Golden Tate, when he was here, was one of my favorite players because he was just like old reliable, fun as hell to watch. He had a mouth on him. He front flipped into the end zone against Minnesota in overtime. Like, just the coolest clips. And he was so welcome as a Lions fan too because we had Calvin, and then not much, right? Like, yeah, cool, like Roy Williams in his last years or whatever, but you had Golden Tate come along and be like that legit number two that we needed, and it was a very, very much what we needed. We just could never get the team around that offense anyway, but I just thought he was entertaining as hell, and he loved the Lions, and it was just a great signing, man. It was a great move by Mayhew back in the day.
Martin Mayhew.
I did not expect to hear that name today.
A long time.
Yeah, I think he's in New England now or something. What's that?
I was just saying I didn't expect to hear that name today.
Yeah. I mean, not as bad as people think he was. Like, he made the playoffs a couple times. He was okay. Wasn't Bob Quinn.
Some of those Lions teams were fun. I mean, the Stafford Calvin teams. So.
Dude, it
could have been worse.
When you were talking about the Bears having a good offense, I thought about our defense, how like we always have a pretty good offense, like that's kind of like the Lions' identity, even dating back to like Barry and whatever. But we never have a consistently great defense, and we had it one time in 2012 against the Cowboys, and we lost. Like we've heard that story before, but I just so badly want the script to flip one time and just be dominant on defense, you know?
I don't know. As somebody who's watched years of domination on defense, you'd rather be good on offense. Defense just isn't like sticky year to year. You know, it's harder to maintain. It's harder to be consistent. So
100%.
Get a good quarterback, get a good coach, go from there. Speaking of quarterbacks, before we get out of here, I teased it a little bit earlier, but I want to play a game. The game is called Who Starts in Week 1? 2025 edition, quarterbacks. Ryan, New York Giants. Who starts week 1 at quarterback?
I mean, hell if I know, bro. Shadur Sanders.
Miro?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah, Shador Sanders. I think so.
All right. Couple Shadurs. I'll go Jameis Winston.
Oh.
Even though I want to pick him for a different team, but I don't
Are
think...
you Shadur about that?
Jesus Christ.
Bravo. Once I learn how to work the sound clips, that's getting a standing ovation. Pittsburgh Steelers. Who starts week 1, 2025? Miro.
Aaron Rodgers. Because I don't think Minnesota wants him. I know he wants Minnesota. I just don't think they want him, because if they did, what are they waiting for? So, Aaron
Rodgers.
Okay.
Ryan?
I'm going to say the same, not to be boring, but I do remember seeing a quote today, and I can't remember the player for the life of me, but it was a player on Pittsburgh saying, pretty much F your darkness retreat. Like they're already fed up with him. He's not even there yet.
How could you not be? He's the worst.
So I just think it's gonna be so funny if he goes and he's with Mike Tomlin and George Pickens and DK Metcalf. It's gonna be theater if Aaron Rodgers goes there, bro.
Oh God, can we get them on Hard Knocks?
For real. I just want all the footage everywhere. Just bring it on.
What about the Vikings? If you're not putting Rodgers on the Vikings, you're probably going JJ.
I'm going JJ.
Yeah.
Miro?
Yeah. I want to change.
I'm going JJ too.
Yeah. I do want to change my Giants pick. Forgot all about Russell Wilson. It just seems so...
Ooh.
Russell Wilson.
I like that.
I
kind of
guess.
forgot about Russ too.
Yeah. So, yeah, my pick for the Giants would be Russell Wilson.
And then what about the Cleveland Browns?
Man, I knew this was going to come up, and I have no fucking idea. Right? Do they do something crazy and just trade up for Cam Ward? I don't know. I have no idea.
The Titans are acting like they're not having any interest in taking anyone but Cam Ward with the moves that they're making, in my opinion. Cousins, maybe?
No, he just got... They just picked up his option in Atlanta. He's not going anywhere.
So that means they're not going to cut him, but does that mean he's for sure not going anywhere? I don't know.
No, I think because if your plan was to trade him and you were going to take the dead cap hit anyways, why wouldn't you just cut him? So I think them re-signing him is saying we want him on our team. I could be mistaken.
Or nobody wants him and we can't take the $100 million dead cap hit.
That too, yeah. Yep. But
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a young quarterback they draft. I just don't think there's a point to paying a lot for one of these veteran QBs when you're screwed anyways. It's a really good division, not to mention.
I think he's already on the roster. It's going to be Kenny Pickett.
Oh, KP.
Yeah. Yeah. I tend to agree with that. And I think KP's going to start until the rookie's ready after week 9 or whatever,
Do you think Deshaun Watson is the reason Kenny Pickett is there? Because I've heard that people with smaller hands give better massages, but I could be wrong.
Oh, my God.
We'll have to get the analytics department to look into that.
Do I have to worry about the Lions trading Jared Goff to the Browns? What's going on?
Something to think
tiny
about.
hands himself.
Something to think about.
All right, any other teams on there, or is that it?
That's all I got. Everybody else, I think, is pretty locked in. So I guess for Browns, I'll say Russ. I don't really know what they're doing.
You forgot? Did we mention the Titans? Or no?
Oh, I'm just operating as Titans as Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Or
okay.
Will
That's
Levis.
fair. Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
They're either going to pick Cam Ward and start him or start Will Levis, and they like a guy next year, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How did they think a guy that likes mayo in his coffee was going to be good?
It's a red flag, certainly.
Definitely a red flag. It's
I
That's a
people
red
that-
flag for
you got-
life. I mean, for football, what does it matter?
You got to
No,
adjust
I-
your process. It's something they can learn from, you know?
I mean, if someone told me they put ketchup on their spaghetti, I'm gonna be like, yeah, we're not hiring you. Like,
I mean, I've heard of weirder combos than that, bro. Like the mustard on your fries type thing. You know, shout out to the South.
I've gotten to a point where you want to be weird with your food, do whatever. I don't care. Don't put it on me. Patrick Mahomes wants to put ketchup on a steak. That's stupid, but sure, you like
yeah,
it, go for it.
Yeah, until your kid asks for marshmallows on his steak, and you're like, oh, hey, I said it doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever, you know.
Yeah, go for it.
Bulking season, we'll get them there.
All right, boys. Well, this is a fun episode. If you're still sticking around, thank you for listening. We love you guys. Welcome to Matt. Moving forward, we're loving this so far. And shout out to Jose for the work he put in over the past year and being our boy as always. We miss you again. And, just want to let you guys know to check out the socials when you can. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram where we share funny stories and opinions there between the shows. And what am I missing, Mito? Anything else?
I mean, since it's Matt's first day, Matt, you want to go ahead and tell us the podcast name?
Oh, I believe it's the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. Emphasis on the duh.
So that's how they say it in Chicago, huh?
Yeah, the Bears.
There you go.
I didn't even think about it. We'll also have to work on our outro, but for now, I guess we could do the old one.
Oh,
come
yeah,
on.
the outro. Damn, that's my thing, isn't it? I gotta give some work going here.
Ryan doesn't do the intros. He doesn't do the outros.
Hey, I've done every outro so far. You shut your mouth. But we'll figure something out, I'm sure. And speaking of the outro, as always, may your Kool-Aid stay blue and your head stay cheesy and something Bears related. Peace out.
Later.
Be
Bye.
safe.